Well, this has been a horrifying, adventurous day.
Yes, hi. Do you guys have a bolt for a brake caliper for a Mitsubishi? It's a Mitsubishi Galant 2006.
Fingers crossed. Your brother's thing started. Oh my god, today couldn't get any worse. It works. It's clever.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, then again, you could have also just taken two Velcro straps and just did the same thing. Or even a ratchet strap.
Either way, it works. Can I go back to what I was doing? In the warm car? Thank you. It just kept rotating. Okay. Now that I'm alone for a little bit, I can go ahead and talk and explain what's going on from the little clips that you saw. So, today we are supposed to drive up to the city to visit family because his younger brother's school is doing something for Veterans Day today for some reason. And we were going to drive up there and he was going to attend because he's technically a vet. And it was all going good. A little annoyed that we had to get up at 4:30 in the morning, but it was fine. So we're driving down 66 and there is a Love's gas station. Maybe about 30 miles, not 30 miles, 30 minutes off the entrance exit to 66. And as we passed it, he goes, "Do you have to go to the bathroom?" I said, "No, I'm fine. I can wait until we get to the parents' house because it's only an hour and a half drive." And he said, "Okay, sure." Within 5 minutes of passing the Loves, there was a sudden jolt in the car and the passenger side front tire started to rattle. At first we thought something got stuck underneath the car because that does happen frequently on the expressway. So we pulled over and checked and he goes, "Oh, the air pressure is really low. I need air in here ASAP." So we found the nearest gas station, which was 2 exits after the Loves. And we put air in the tire and it was fine. We got back on the road and it was still making that kind of noise. And we were really starting to get worried because there was air in the tires now and it was just that one tire that was doing it. We hit, maybe about 20 minutes later, we hit construction because there's always construction on Veterans. And after we hit construction, we had to slow down because there was a flatbed truck that was completely stopped in front of us because it was that backed up. And as we were slowing down, the car went boom, 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 and really started to lurch and fight. And Mike came to the realization, oh no, it's my brakes. So we ended up completely stopped behind that flatbed. And I'm sorry, I got hot hands because it's kind of cold. And when traffic started to move again, the tire wouldn't move. The car just kind of rocked back and forth and made a really weird squeaking sound. And when it finally did start, the car kind of went dunk and jumped a little bit, if that makes any sense. And the whole time, there was every like 10 seconds, there was a loud clunking sound. And he said, okay, we have to get off the road. So he pulled onto the shoulder, and we rode the shoulder to the next exit, which was 240, I think, where they had a gas station. And at this point, with all of the lurching and clunking around, I am in full panic attack mode. I'll explain in a second, but we get here, he jacks up the car and takes the tire off and looks, and I don't know what a caterpillar is, but I guess he said it's the thing that holds the brakes in place. He said there was a bolt missing. So somewhere between the Loves and here, and it was about a 40-minute drive, the bolt came out. And so we were stuck. We called family. My mom was originally going to come get us so we can go to the auto shop and, get the bolt that we needed to fix the brakes. But it was going to take her like 2 hours. She had to get stuff done. So Mike just takes off down the exit ramp from the gas station, because not far, I think it was like 2 to 4 miles further up the road was an auto parts shop. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna go see if they have the parts. So he takes off down the road while I'm still on the phone with my mom. And my mom's like, okay, we'll find out what's going on, call me back. And by the time I do, Mike gets back and he's like, they had no idea what I was talking about. But I guess between the sprint, because he had to run, because like I said, we're on the expressway, and the Vets Parkway for Illinois, it's all country road. You have off-ramps here and there, but those off-ramps are usually just gas stations. And so we're in the middle of nowhere. So he's, sprinting across on the phone. And he said he managed to get help. One of his family members he got a hold of going to come down and get him. So that's where he's at now. I'm here with the car. And his grandfather came and took him, and they were going to get the bolt that we need. And while we were waiting for him to come get Mike, he was inspecting the rest of the brake, and he's like, the second bolt, because I guess it's like two bolts that hold the brake on or something. The second bolt, he said, was loose as well, and if we didn't stop when we did, the entire brake could have just fallen off on the expressway. And I'm like, okay, I know this event thing for his brother means a lot, and we agreed to go. But as soon as him and his grandfather get back with the part and they get it on, we're going home. This has just been way too much for today. And quite frankly, I am emotionally drained from it. I've mentioned before I don't drive. And I mentioned before that, earlier in this video, I had a panic attack from the lurching and clunking around. Reason being is, back in high school, around 2010, 2011, I was run over by a car on my bike. I was riding home. This was when the H1N1 was a big thing, and it was everyone was catching it. And I was quickly riding home on my bike, and someone failed to stop at the light, and me and my bike were thrown 20 feet. I don't really remember much about all the small nitty-gritty details, because it knocked some things loose, and I was told that I would have memory problems, which I do. I easily forget things. People, faces, things like that. If my stutter got worse because of it. If I go like a week without talking to a person or seeing them every day, like on Facebook or something, and there's just a week of where like they seemingly vanish, I will forget they ever existed, and they will come back and be like, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, who are you? I don't know who you are. And I know that pisses people off. 6 months after that happened, I was hit again on my bike, a new bike this time, because the first time it was completely totaled. And this time I was riding to school, and I was crossing 95th Street up in Chicago, and this poor 85-year-old woman didn't see me because it was like 6 o'clock in the morning and it was daylight saving times and it was dark, and she just didn't see me, and she turned in the parking lot that I was crossing at full speed and rammed me with her minivan. And like I said, these details I remember because people have told me, and I've, Facebook memories, the stupid memories things Facebook does. But that time I ended up underneath the car. And from what I was told, my face was about 6 inches away from the driver's side tire. And I was unconscious for about, I think they said it was a couple days. I was in the hospital for a month. And it was at that point that I started to become afraid of cars. It wasn't the driving in and of itself at the time. It was just cars in general. I was terrified of them. Even though, and I know it didn't make any sense. I was hit on my bike. I should be afraid of riding a bike, which I am as well. I can't cross a busy street on a bike anymore. But the cars, it quickly turned into a PTSD almost. And I haven't really driven since. Like I don't have a license. Cars terrify me. And the slightest skid or weird clunk that's not supposed to happen in the car, I end up having a major panic attack where everything just falls apart. And so, despite all of the progress me and Mike made with him teaching me how to drive and get over the PTSD and the fear of the cars, in that moment when the car was lurching around and things were clunking and bumping, I just broke down. After he checked the tire the first time, I said, I'm done. I hopped into the back seat. I did not want to be above the tire. The second time, which I think that lurch we had behind the flatbed is when the bolt actually came out. I grabbed this, and I just held on for dear life crying. And when we got to where we are now in the parking lot at the gas station, he didn't even have a chance to shut off the car before I hopped out. So this has been more excitement than I have ever wanted or needed today. And I have been talking for 12 minutes. Holy crap. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, I'm not going to end this how I usually do with the thank you for spending time with me today, because this wasn't fun. I'm not having fun. I'm cold. Mentally and physically drained. And I just want to go home. But I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. And I will see you all next time.